A very special thanks to the Global Azure team, especially Magnus, who is always a rock star of the Global Azure event, who has extended his hands across the globe to take care of the events and supporting the community heroes on taking the event to be on an exclusive track. And of course, the founder of DearAzure, Kasam Shaikh, who is doing a lot of innovative things to get Azure goes right. He shares each and every hot updates which is from Microsoft on Azure track on his Facebook, Twitter handler, all these things, and he keeps people engaged on taking things to be on an upper stream for the folks who work on Azure. That's really awesome. Congrats and keep the face on track, Kazam. And yes, CodeSizzler, which is my organization, and last but not the least, Microsoft, and always the one among the rock stars who is said to be Deepak Rajendran, who takes care of the Microsoft MVP family and helping out the Microsoft MVP community to be with innovative thoughts and taking the things to be on a exclusive track always. So with all these things, I would like to get into the topic for today, which is said to be on the certifications that Microsoft is going to drive. And this is completely set to be the upcoming calendar that we have on the business track. And we will also be discussing about the different sort of environments which is going to come up on the data and AI. I'll be speaking much into Azure. I'll be speaking on how Microsoft is going to help on the Azure data and AI track. I will not be getting into the topics of business applications or modern workspace, all these things, as it's not related to Azure on this particular program, right? So the overall content for the next probably 40 or 45 minutes is going to be on the Microsoft training and certifications, which are said to be related to the AI and data track. And I repeat, I'll be giving a short touch base on the modern workspace and the business applications, whereas not much into detail on discussing about those things. So if you want any inputs on those things, you can please reach me on Twitter or LinkedIn. Here we go. I'll be driving this 40 minutes, considering from a starter level up to an expert on how you can design your career right on a Azure track as such. So the training and certification is overall Microsoft has made it right from the OS level. That's, let's say it's going to be from a modern workspace level up to an expert level of doing migrations to work on cloud or setting up your AI components, setting up your business managements to be done with dynamic CRM, right? So we have the complete workloads to be managed with different certification tracks that comes with Microsoft. And Microsoft always deals with a role-based certification, which is said to be on two levels. One is said to be an associate one, and the other one is said to be an expert one. And prior to this, we were having certifications on Azure, which was 533, we had 532, and we also had something called as 535. 533 was implementing your Azure solutions, and it was all about your administrative steps on 533. 32 was on a developer track. 32 was completely about developing Azure solutions, which was speaking about how you can develop a storage using Visual Studio, how you can develop an MVC application and you can host it on Azure, how you can use a web app to do with a CI and CD, right, with a DevOps manageability. So these were there on the 532, and we had 535, which was on the architect level. And once when we came much into widening the services of AI, ML, data tracks that we had, Microsoft started focusing on the role-based certifications, which we call it as two things. One is the associate level, and the other one is the expert level. And the structure was completely remodified. We had 103, which was called as Azure Administrator Certification Training. So it was completely about infra. You need to know about how an infra is laid on Microsoft Azure, how we are going to manage your workloads on an Azure infrastructure. Let's say like using when to use a traffic manager, when to use a load balancer, right? When to use a VPN gateway, how you can put up your virtual networks on Azure. So all these things were there on the 103. And we also had the 203 certification on an associate level, which was developing Azure solutions. So this was speaking more about storage components. This was speaking about databases, SQL database, Cosmos DB, Redis cache, right? And it was dealing with three major components of what is services, right? What is storages? Why not data lake store? why you need to go for Azure storage. So it was a reasoning certification for the different services that we had. And apart from that, we also had certifications which was about data tracks, speaking about data platform, right? Doing ETL operations like data warehouse, data bricks, Azure HD Insights, okay? Using Azure cognitive services, we call it as AI in short. So you have plenty many things like IoT Hub, IoT Central, you have Azure Sentinel, you have Azure cognitive services, containerization with Azure cognitive services, right? So all these things were on the associate level. And apart from that, you also had the dynamics, the complete role of dynamics, which were integrated, like you call on the sales, or you call it on the managing your customer entities, right? Managing the security solutions that you have in the CRM. All these things were also integrated with the certification tracks. We have MB200, we have MB210, which speaks with Dynamics 365 from 900, and speaking about integration with Power Apps, integration with automations. Okay, so those things were also on the track. So as the fundamental course for all these things, Microsoft drives the program into 4 courses. One is Azure Fundamentals. So let's say if you're a user who is looking to step on towards a cloud environment, the very first track that you need to take is said to be Azure Fundamentals, that is AZ900. Azure Fundamentals will speak about all the basic services, what an IaaS is, what a PaaS, what a SaaS is, why you need to move towards cloud, right? Why particularly Microsoft Azure, and why not the other solutions like AWS or Google Cloud, all these things. You will also come to know about the data center regions, the basic terminologies that you have in Azure, like the resource groups, availability sets, availability zones, airbags. Okay, so those are all the key topics which will be covered on Azure Fundamentals. And beyond, you have 365 fundamentals. So if you want to concentrate on Microsoft 365, Windows 10, Windows 10 integration with modern workspace that you have, right? So in those cases, you will go with Microsoft 365 fundamentals. And this will speak about Teams management as well. And furthermore, you also have 365 fundamentals on Dynamics. And this is about the different sort of tools. Dynamics, yes, it's like an ocean, right? And we are no more working on the on-premise. We have everything which has been integrated with Office 365 and Dynamics on cloud. So this will speak about the basic fundamentals things, which is called as MS900. The course code is MS900 for your Dynamics 365. And you do have the Power Platform Fundamentals, which speaks about what a Power Apps is, how you can build apps without code, and how you can make things to be automated. So that's Power Platform Fundamentals. This is said to be the fundamental course, the very fundamental courses that you need to take. So it depends, like it depends on how you're gonna manage your career, right? Which track you're gonna work on. So if it's cloud, you'll be focusing on Azure Fundamentals again. If it's AI or data, you're going to focus on Azure Fundamentals, which is said to be step 1. Step 2 is on the associate level. As I said earlier, you can focus on all these things. If you're going to be on the security track, you will go for security engineer, your network level of security, your application level of security, monitoring, right? So those things will be on the security engineering. And finally, as an expert, you would be there for architect. So you need to know about when a particular service has to be used, right? How you can achieve a resiliency, and how we are going to come up with integration platforms, how we are going to set up hybrid cloud. So you are supposed to think from an architect's point of view, and that's exactly where we go with Azure Solution Architect. And we also have the DevOps certification now, which is set to be AZ400. It speaks about the complete Azure DevOps. So now we have again moved towards an environment where you can work from Azure repos, right? You can manage your boards on Microsoft Azure platform itself using Azure DevOps. You can manage the team work that you're going to do, your front-end developers, your back-end developers, the contributions that they do, the pipelines that you need to integrate from the different third-party repos. Okay, you can do all these things from the Azure DevOps environment. So this is said to be the complete track, right? Which is said to be on AI and data. And here I'll be speaking about 2 major things. One is for the AI, and the other one is going to be for the data. The very basic fundamental track which we are going to speak is Azure Fundamentals, as I told you before. You need to start your leg with Azure Fundamentals. That's going to be your first leg. And the second leg will be on the associate, where you have Azure administrator, that is 103 as of now, and you have 203, and you have the security engineer as well. And now Microsoft has come up with the beta exams, which is said to be for administrator and for the developer as well. Your Azure administrator is said to be with AZ 104. Let's say, for example, if any of you have completed 103 already, in that case, you can just move for AZ104. You no need to wait until the exam gets as a professional one. You can just put it on the beta examination. You can take up the exam and you can be an Azure certified administrator. You do have the developer track. The developer is said to be 203 as of now, and we have the beta exam which has been released for AZ204. So you can take up any of these certifications, and we are expecting this to be on roll, and the dates are set to be tentative as we have this pandemic situation which is going on. The expert level of certifications will be on DevOps, and we have the 302 as well, which is said to be the beta exam for Microsoft. Remember your 103 and your, your exams, which are said to be 103, your 204, all these things will be having a newer update, okay? And it's already released. The content has been already released, and the exam, which is currently on track, is set to be retired by, tentatively, it might be the end of August that it gets retired. Your 103 will be retiring on August, okay? And that's again tentative because we have this COVID-19 which is going on. So I could not put you a date which is set to be like a streamlined one, okay? But we will be expecting an expiry soon. So in case if you're new to Azure, if you're planning a certification which is set to be completely new, I would insist that you go with AZ 900 as of now, get it prepared, and probably by a month or so, you will be getting an update for AZ 104 or AZ 204, and you can focus for it. You don't need to take 103, okay? And the next is said to be your SAP workloads. SAP is said to be the much special course. It speaks about how the SAP workloads can be integrated. The SAP environment can be set on Azure, your HANA applications, okay? You're going to set up your HANA applications on the Azure. So this is completely about how you're going to monitor, how you're going to set up the environment for the operations, which is set to be on SAP. So this is completely, again, an expert delivery that you're going to come up with. Here is the track that you have for your application infrastructure. So you need to start from the fundamentals. It's optional. I have represented with three major things. The dotted line is an optional path. And you have the blue color line, right, which seems to be the required path to get a track as an expert. And the star that you have, right, that's set to be a beta one. So if you want to be an expert on Azure, let's say Microsoft certified on application and infra track, then you need to first take up your fundamentals. That's a basic examination. In case if you're not going to take AZ 900, that's fine, but at least you should have some knowledge on what the fundamental things are. And you can go for your 104. Your Azure, as of now, it's 103, but it's going to be 104 within some months, right? So you will be taking 104, or you need to take the security exam, or let's say a developer exam. So any of these things, gaining either, let's say, your AZ 104, or let's say your developer associate, would help you to move for AZ 400. I repeat, any one of these exams, right? The reason is your 104 speaks about the networking level of thing. It speaks even about the pipelines. It speaks about VPN gateways. So when you take a certification which is said to be DevOps, you need to know about how you're going to call the data from a third-party environment. So there it helps you about. It also speaks about how you can set up availability set, availability zones, right? So those are major things. And developer associate speaks about how you can develop a .NET app for Azure service, how you can develop apps using .NET Core, containerization, service fabric. Okay, so this is set to be for the DevOps engineer, which is set to be, a bit important one. So you can go for developer associate again. So any of these tracks, and having a score of your security as well. Understanding about Azure Security Center, role-based access control, monitoring. Okay, so that's another important thing. And you can also go with the architect one, which speaks about the services, your entire Azure services, and you can make sense about which service has to be used by the scenario or the project requirement that you have. This is completely your use case drive. Okay, your architect one. So that would also help you to be an expert. And if, in case if it's recommended or if it's needed on your work environment, you can also go up with the certification, which is said to be AZ120. It's AZ120, okay, which is Azure SAP Workload Certifications, managing your SAP workloads on Azure. Here is the fundamental track. Your fundamental track starts with, a blank knowledge, right? Just an understanding about how an on-premise looks like. And you will make sense about the cloud concepts. You would make sense about the core Azure services that we have. We will also have a bit brief on the security with Azure service, SLAs, the policies, the pricing of how it's going to be charged on Azure. Okay, your subscription and everything. So this will help you to gain a certification called as Azure Fundamentals. And it's going to be a 1 day. The max you can gain is like, it's 1 day. That's more than enough to get certified with Azure Fundamentals. And speaking about the resources, you have it on Azure Microsoft Learn. Okay, you have MS Learn. You can just have a quick look for it. It's just one module that you have for Azure Fundamentals. I would say a max of 8 hours, right? A max of 8 hours with hands-on should be good to complete the course. The next comes the learning path for Azure infrastructure or Azure administration, I could say. And this speaks completely about the infra. It speaks about the VM, your compute, right? Your containerization. It speaks about your virtual network, how you can lay your subnets. So you're no more gonna stick towards the papers, writing your subnet addressing. You can just move across with VNet, giving up your address and the address range and the subnets. Everything will be configured on its own. It will also make sense about how you can configure your NIC. It will make sense about how you're configuring the network security group, the port addressing that you do. Okay, so all these things, you're just going to work on the configuring part. And other than that, managing the network, managing the security role actions, all these things will be taken care by Microsoft Azure. You will also have a deep hand on the Active Directory environment here. You will make sense about the AD Connect, and you will also get to know about the subscriptions, the resource that you're going to manage, right? Your IAM, your identity and access management rules that you have with that you can align with the resource group, okay? And the different storage solutions like your blobs, files, tables, and queues. So these things will help you to be graded with a certification, which is said to be Azure Administrator Associate. I repeat, there is said to be a beta exam in case if you have already been certified with AZ103, you no need to wait. You can just move across with AZ104. You can refer the content which has been given at Microsoft documentation site. You can get prepared for it and you can take the beta exam to be clear. The next comes okay, this takes 4 days of time. Your administrator takes 4 days of time, okay, for as recommended by Microsoft. And apart from 4 days, you also need to have a deep understanding on how the services are working on. So that's said to be Azure Administrator course. And for the developer, we'll be speaking about infrastructure from the code point of view. Let's say from ARM templates, right? You need to make sense about how you can put up your infra from Visual Studio or from PowerShell management using PowerShell scripts or using ARM templates, okay? How the code reusability is gonna work. That's said to be a major part on your developer track. We will also have a deep understanding on the PaaS services, your app service that we have, web app, your logic apps, notification apps, your push notifications that you're going to send with the web app. We used to call it as mobile apps previously, and now we have it as notification app, and we have the web app which can, by inbuilt, it can send the push notification with the tables operation. So you also have one more thing, which is said to be API management. You will make sense about how the developer console works and how a publisher consumer portal works as such. You can develop APIs. You can integrate third-party APIs as well on Azure. You can monitor the metrics using application insights and everything. Storage is going to speak about blobs, queues majorly. You will speak from Visual Studio. You will develop an application. You need to know how you're going to push data using a console app towards your Azure storage. And also about how you're going to configure your queue, how you're going to send messages, when to use a service bus and when to use a queue storage, when to go with the event grid, event hub, the third-party services that you have, and about the Redis cache that you have, Cosmos DB. Okay, so those things will be there on 203. The major difference between 203 and 204 is that the content has been made even more much deeper on the developer track. Microsoft has removed SQL database on 204. You don't have Azure SQL database at 204. The focus is more into how developing services can be configured on Azure from a developer track. Let's say from VS Code or from VS, and how you're going to push your applications towards the environment. So beta exam again, 204 is available for the developer track. This would again take you around like 6 days of time to get it completed, the certification. Okay, and again, you need to go with a lot of hands-on to get the certifications to be completed. The next comes your architect level of course. Okay, this is security, AZ 500. Security is about Azure Security Center, identity and access management that you have in Azure, how you're going to protect the platform. Like you have previously we used to call it as OMS, Operation and Management Suite. And now we have services like ASR, Azure Site Recovery, you have Azure Backup, you have Azure Monitor, application insights that it comes across, Azure Backup that you can take up in policy based. Okay, you can even preserve your on-premise environment. So all these things will be a touch base for your AZ500, and completing these things will let you know that you should be a security engineer. This is an expert level. Okay, this is said to be an expert level of certification. And again, this would give you a max of 5 days for preparation. And again, I insist you need to have a lot of hands-on. Okay, you need to work as many as hands-on that you can do. And the questions on the exam will be completely based on use cases. It's not, it's a multiple choice question, but it's based on case studies, right? People who have already taken certifications, you should have heard about it. So you'll be having certifications which would be based upon like how you're gonna solve a use case, right? And they give the solutions. You need to ensure that the given solution is right on track. The next comes DevOps certifications. DevOps is a very major track on Azure, and I would highly recommend you need to complete your AZ 103 or let's say 104. And again, I would say it might be AZ 203 or 204, and only then you need to come for AZ 400. That's a recommended path. That's I would say even it's a mandatory path, right? As per my guidance. You cannot just directly say that I'm new to cloud and I would go for DevOps. I have worked on the on-premise DevOps, so now I'm ready to move for Azure DevOps. No, it's not like that. You need to have a deep knowledge and you need to have a deep understanding about how Azure services works. And in what case of scenario you need to select each and every Azure service as such. So here it will be speaking about the dependency management. You have boards, you have agile, you have pipelines, you have CI and CD that you do. What in case if you're going to call from your on-premise repository, right? You're going to call the data from the on-prem repository. So you will be having all these things which is going to be covered on the AZ400. As per Microsoft's recommendation, Microsoft says that a week of preparation should be more than enough to get the certifications to be covered. But I would say if you have been already working with Azure DevOps, yes, then it's fine. But if you're new to the Azure DevOps environment, at least like, let's say a 15 days of continuous preparation is a much recommended one to get your DevOps certification to be clear. I would even say that DevOps is said to be a bit harder one compared to the other certifications that you have. Your DevOps and your architect is said to be much complicated. Here is your architect expert. For the architect expert, as of now, previously, yes, we had 535. Your AZ exam with 535 was helping you to get as an Azure architect. And then we came up with role based on 300 and 301. So completing 300 and 301 will help you to achieve solution architect expert. This speaks a lot about how you're going to set up BCDR, right? Your disaster recovery, how you're going to set up availability set, availability zones, how you're going to manage the workloads, capacity planning, service integrations, service manageability, the service platform which has to be deployed, okay? Your authentication that you're going to do, your AD integrations that you're going to do. So it's like a complete track which is going to speak about your architecture. Think from an architect's point of view, right? You get a project requirement and you need to guide your team on how the project should be deployed. So that's exactly where we go with the Azure Architect Expert. This for this course you have two certifications. Okay, one is 300 and the other one is 301. So completing both of these things will help you to gain Azure Architect Expert. The other way around is that in case if you haven't been with 300 or 301, or if you have already taken 300 and 301, you can take the beta exam. Okay. And if you have already covered, let's say 103, I would say that you need to focus on the content for 302 and go by the month of August or September to take the certification to be clear. Okay, your 302 certification to be clear. I repeat, without the base understanding of AZ103, your Azure administrator, please don't step your legs towards your architect expert. Okay. Or let's say just with the knowledge of AZ900, please don't step towards an architect expert. Your learning map should be on AZ900, AZ103, and then you can move it towards your 300 or 301. Here is the time estimate which has been given by Microsoft. At the max, they give you as 9 days. You can even find the open EDX courses which are available. But yes, I would say again, 15 days of content prep, if you're new to it, is more than enough to get it here. And a lot of hands-on. And this exam is also based on case studies, your use cases. Okay. So here is for the SAP, the expert level of thing. Gaining your 103 and 300 or 301 is said to be a major mandatory stuff to go with your SAP integrations. This speaks on the architect level, speaks about integration on SAP workloads, validating your Azure infra, your compute sizes that you have, whether it can support for the SAP as such, how you can build and deploy the managements, how you're going to manage the support on the SAP environments, migrating your SAP workloads from on-premise to Azure. Okay, so those things will be covered here. One should have a very strong knowledge on Azure Migrate. Okay, Azure Migrate is said to be a very important service that we'll be using with SAP on Azure. So with SAP, with Azure Migrate, it would be easy for you to gain knowledge on SAP on Azure for migration. And this course has a huge demand when you speak on the market, okay, the current market that you have. So here, as Microsoft insisted, it's like 4 days of preparation should be good to go. But again, I would say like take at least 10 days of prep if you're new towards SAP, okay? So here is the overall, you have a practice test, which is available from Microsoft. You can just go with OpenEDX courses, right? Or by the end of the this session, I would also insist you with few updates on the practice test. So for all these certifications, whatever we discussed as of now, you have the practice test available and you can take it up. The next comes data and AI certifications. Data and AI is said to be for Azure AI engineers. Okay, the one who is going to work on the IoT, the one who is going to work on artificial intelligence and data platform like doing ETL operations, big data workloads. Okay, so those guys are the right audience to get into this. And again, the fundamental course for them is said to be Azure Fundamentals. And the associate level, you have 103, 203, you have security 500, and you have DP 100, 200, you have AI 100. So those are the courses. And in the expert talk, you have the DevOps CSD 400 and the architect, which is said to be 300 and 301. Finally, you will be again going for Azure with SAP Workloads for a major delivery. Here is for the Azure Fundamentals, which is said to be optional. So if you have knowledge of Azure Fundamentals, you can just directly go for AI 100 because you no need to make sense about what a compute and all these things about. It's a PaaS service, right? Your cognitive service is said to be like they give you APIs and you're going to consume the APIs on the applications that you're going to develop. You need to know about how you're going to train the images, how you're going to call the speech recognition API, or let's say Lewis API, something like that. And for the data engineers, like the one who is going to take up DP 100 or 200, 201 is still the same, that they can go up with the Azure Fundamentals. Okay. And all these certifications is to be a touch base again with an associate level. And for the expert, they can take up the Azure Solution Architect. Here is the roadmap for the data scientist. They need to know about ML. They need to know about how they can develop an ML model with ML Studio, how Jupyter notebooks can be used, how Azure notebooks can be used, Python, R, okay, programming knowledge on Python, R, all these things. And yes, they will be also making sense about how they can work from a VS Code environment, how data modeling can be done, how algorithms work, right? They need to know about a basic understanding of the algorithms as well. So that's for DP 100. And DP 100, as Microsoft suggested, it's 3 days of time, which can help you to get the content to be prepared. I mean, you can prepare for DP 100 and you should also have a base level of working knowledge to get the certification to be clear. Data engineers on a higher level can move up with DP 200 and 201. So combination of both of these exams will help you to get Azure Data Engineer Associate. Okay. The previous one which we were discussing was data scientist, and this is for data engineers. These guys will let you know about how they can do the data processing. Okay, how the ETL operations works, how the data processing can be done, how AI and ML can be combined together. That should be a right ask, right? They can make sense about how the ML Studio can call the APIs which is to be on the cognitive service or from Azure service, something like that. The base can be of your Azure Fundamentals, AZ 900, and then your DP 200 and 201 should be good. Here is the time recommendation. Microsoft says max of 5 days should be good to go. But again, I, as a trainer, would insist you that have at least like 10 days of preparation if you had been with the background of AZ 900. For the AI engineer, they have just one certification, which is said to be AI 100. And that's said to be a much easy one, which is more interesting as well, which speaks about the services like cognitive service. It speaks about the Lewis Face API, okay? It speaks about how you can call the APIs, how you can manage the APIs, how you can fix the solutions using APIs, okay? Developing solutions with AI. So those things will be covered here. And Microsoft takes 3 days of time recommending you to take this course to be completed. And yes, that's right. Just 3 days should be good to get the course to be completed. So you have the practice tests available for DP 200 and 201 as of now. And there are additional Microsoft practice tests which is set to be released very soon for AI 100. You have for DP 100 as well, which is going to come up. Okay. So here are the different resources. You can even take a screenshot of the same. And hopefully the recording should be available at the YouTube channel of DearAzure. You can even refer towards there where you would be getting this link, right? You can go for microsoft.com/certification, which can help you to make sense about the different certifications that you have. Official curriculum of Microsoft is also available, the MOOCs content that you have. And MS Learn always supports you. You have the module wise things. You can try working on with a demo, you no need to rely on an Azure subscription. You can just go with demos.microsoft.com, which can help you to spin up the services and you can try your hands on. We do have learning partners. CodeSizzler is one of a learning partner, and we have other learning partners as well. You can take up certification trainings reaching them. And yes, we are also coming up with a new platform. I mean, CodeSizzler is also coming up with a new platform on which you can take the certification trainings, which will be completely based on the implementation practice, right? Not just on the motive of how the certification to be cleared, but how you can implement it on your industrial practice as well. And we are also on a tool to be released soon, which will give you an experience just same like your Pearson examinations, right? Your Pearson View examination center. You'll be having the timer. You'll be having multiple choice questions based on the certifications, and you can just take up the examination over there. So that's like one track which we are going to come up with. You also have the certification poster where you can go. And once when you complete the certifications from Microsoft, you'll be able to claim your badge where you can put it on digitally. You can add it on your resume, and you can take it forward on the other learning paths as well. Completing two certifications will help you to gain a track called Microsoft Certified Trainer, and you can even provide training for others, and you will also get the content of the other certifications which are available. You get the cost cut off, you get a voucher for the next certifications that you can take it on. So those are some advantages that you have when you take Microsoft certifications. So with that, I would like to close. I'll be open to your questions. You can just keep me posted if you have any questions now. Any questions? Hi. Any questions?
There are few in the chat window.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just checking that.
So it's like from MK, it's free hands-on labs maybe for admin. What process need to follow?
Okay, fine. Oh, there are a lot many questions. Thank you. Thanks for reaching out. Thanks, Kasam, for guiding. Hi, Gaurav. For Azure Solution Architect, is fundamental certification mandatory? It's not mandatory that you need to complete the certification, but if you're new to Azure, it's recommended that you have a touch base on Azure Fundamentals as well. I repeat, you no need to take the exam, but you can just have a touch base on the track. And any other questions? Amlish, hi. For admin, what process need to be followed? For administrator, the very first basic examination is AZ 900, and you need to next focus on AZ 103. So AZ 900 will be your leg 1, and the leg 2 will be your AZ 103. Okay. Hi, hi MK. Free hands-on labs maybe. Free hands-on labs, yes. It's not a free hands-on lab, but you can refer the document and you can try doing hands-on lab using demos.microsoft.com. Hi Arjun, can you share the PowerPoint? Sorry, hi, can you please share info about DP300? Yes, Microsoft also comes with this certification, yes, with your DP300. Excuse me, just give me a moment. Yeah. So DP300 is said to be a level higher certification again, which is said to be on the relational databases that you have. It speaks about SQL database. It speaks about SQL DB managed instance. Okay, it speaks about PostgreSQL and all these things. So it's completely on the database flavor. And again, a strong understanding on AZ 900 and then moving up with DP300 should be good to go. Hi Deepak, before talking AZ 400, do we need to take any other? Yes, Deepak, you need to take up Azure Fundamentals, which is said to be not much needed if you have been working with Azure. If not, 100% you need to take up 103 or 203, right? You need to have a strong understanding on both of these courses, 103 and 203, which can help you to go with a DevOps engineering one. Yeah. Hi, Sanjay. Can you help me with preparation for Azure Data Engineer? Sure, Sanjay. I could help you out. Just reach me on Twitter or you can reach me over my email ID. I've dropped my email ID over here. Hi, Sundar. For security easy 500, is there any prerequisites like only security persons can attend or even IT admins can write? Yes, even IT admins can do it because you people will be managing the role-based access and everything, right? So you can even take it across. Do you recommend AI engineers to get certified in all of the following Azure, GCP, and AWS? No, not exactly AK. MK. It depends like what is your career that you're gonna fix across, right? Or you're gonna move towards or your company or your production environment is moving on Google Cloud or AWS like that. And having a grab on any one of the environments should be easy to understand the other as well. So you just analyze. As of now, the market is set to be huge for AI on Azure, right? So that should be a good one that you have. Okay, AZT0, can we take up now? If you have already taken up 203, then you can take 204 Azure. Do you recommend okay, that's answered. MK question is answered. Any other questions?
Feroz, one question, like I don't know whether I missed. Like
Yeah.
if at all someone is planning to, appear for 300 and 301, that is for solution architect, and as it's already 304 in picture, which is still in beta. So what should be our take? Should we wait for that to get live, or should we go ahead with the existing one?
Yeah. So you're just planning for it, right? In that case, you need to wait until it gets released. In case if you have already cleared like 300 and 301, something like that, then you can try taking the beta exam, which is said to be 302. If not, you need to wait until the exam gets to be on service.
Okay, because I believe there would be again some transition exam would come in for the 300 and 301 who are already certified. It is 304, right?
You're
Kind of.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what will be your advice? We need to wait, or can go
Yes,
with it.
you need to wait. Like the transit exam would be there, but again, it's like you're gonna go for a couple of jumps, right? So
Yes.
instead of that, I would just say that unless and until it's gonna be like I come across few of my clients who say that we need to get certified as of now to get into the project, something like that. If that's a bottleneck for you, then you can go with 300 and 301. Then you can try a transit, all these things. If not, you can just wait until the exam gets to be on full-fledged.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
And
Hi.
one more query. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. So one more query, like this question came to me from one of my peer, like he was preparing for this AZ 300, and there was some subject related to VNet peering, but that has an new update already have came up and it is already live in production from Microsoft Azure. Then such things where the question comes in from the old syllabus and there is already a new updates which is live. So in such cases, how Microsoft calculates, like whether it considers the old answer or what, like if at all, what should be the answers in that case, or how this is tackled by Microsoft for the updates, service updates questions?
Not exactly. Microsoft always works with a quarterly update on the examinations. They are in tie-up with Pearson and they are in tie-up with few partners as well, where they work on getting updates on the questions that they have. So if there's any update on the service that they have, of course, like I am again repeating, it's on a quarterly update where Microsoft will be enhancing the answer, and you need to always stick towards what's the right answer or what's the advanced service that Microsoft has come up right now as such. So, like it depends. You get a notification on the MS site as well, right? Your Microsoft website as well, where you can find that there is an update on the service and it has been reflected on the content that they give. They give the weightage, right? They say that, let's say, for example, networking has a weightage of 10 to 15% each, and they give the modules which gets covered inside that. So they will have a change mentioning with the star as well, saying that this is the update that we have come across and it will be there as well. One such thing you can find on live is that we have it for data lake store as of now, and we have Azure Sentinel which has been added as well. So those things are there on track.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Hi Atul, for cost management or cloud billing certification, please guide us. Cost management or cloud billing. Okay, this is said to be with it covers with AZ 900 itself, your cost management and your pricing calculations, right? All these things gets covered with AZ 900. And still, if you want to have an understanding about the service with the costing, right? I mean, like when to use a service and how you can plan a service as such. Let's say when I need to go for a standard machine and when I need to go for some premium machine, something like that. In that case, you need to stick towards 103. Hi MK, do you think getting certified in one cloud provider will make it easy to understand how to work with another cloud provider? It actually depends, MK. Think about infra, right? Infra is said to be moreover common. Like Azure also says availability sets and availability zones, and you have the same with AWS as well. And this guy, Google Cloud as well. Containers has the same concept, right? Just the naming changes, just the naming, like in storage on AWS, we call it as buckets. We say S3 buckets. And here at Microsoft, we call it as Azure Blob Storage and now containers, right? So it depends on the service, but AI is completely a different track. Okay, AI, the APIs are completely different, which we have from other environment and from Azure. So to answer your question in a short way, if it is administrator, then it's gonna be moreover identical. Okay, just the service name alone will be different. Microsoft has a very beautiful document on their website where you can compare the services between Azure and AWS. So that should help you out. Hi Atul. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us as well, Atul. And hello Mandar, thank you. Thank you very much. Hi Amlesh. Can be possible to share a link for admin which need to follow, because in website lots many things are showing which is confusing. Easy 900, easy 103. Okay, are you looking for the study materials? In that case, just go for MS Learn, right? And you can look for easy 900 and easy 103. Gaurav, I don't have the link as handy, but you can always Google for it. See, Azure services versus AWS service. And yeah, this is the service comparison that Microsoft has. They give a clear picture. Yeah. Yes. This should help you out. Okay. All right. Any other questions? You're welcome, Amlish. Thank you, Kalyan. Thank you very much. All right, be in touch. Do follow us at the YouTube channel of DearAzure. We are available with Twitter, and yes, we do have on Facebook all these things. You get a lot of updates each and every day with Azure DOS program. So be in touch and see you all soon at the next session. Thank you very much for joining. And again, thank you very much, Kasam, for taking the efforts, having things to be on track and having up all your things to be arranged on a timely manner, right? Thank you very much for that. It's not that easy that you be on virtual. Yeah.
Yes, thank you
And
for your time. Thank you for your time and thank you for this amazing presentation. I know
Thanks.
this topic is an big myth for many in the industries, and you can see the way the questions were coming in. I believe there will be some questions definitely will be coming in individual basis also. Maybe they have missed this.
I'm more than happy to
The
answer.
recording, yes. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Sure thing. Yep.
Okay.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Kasam. Yeah. Thank you,
Thank you, everyone.
Arshad.
Bye.
And yeah, thank you. Atul, you can find with my name. You can just look for me on, or you can even Google with my name. I don't know. I'm not able to chat. Or I could not type it on the chat box.
I will provide them. I will provide them.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, speaker details will be there in each and every video recording which will get published. So you can find over there too.
All right. Fine.
Okay.
Thank you all
Thank
once
you.
again. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Take care, guys. Yeah.